All right, welcome back in. Here we go, in-game live game day on the SportsGrid network as the final two games of the round of 32, the knockout stage, still to go here after a pretty exciting game one here today between Egypt and Australia, a game in which, we got extra time, we got penalty kicks, and we've got Egypt advancing on those penalty kicks, and now it's all about the man, Messi and Argentina taking on the tournament darlings, Cabo Verde. And they are off and running here. So are we, Joe Raineri alongside Craig Mish. And, well, Craig, it's the end of the, there's only two more spots here we got to figure out. We got two games left in a round of 32. Then we'll move on to the 16. But Argentina may be the biggest favorite we have seen in the round of 32 over Cabo Verde. And I think with good reason.
It's great to be with you once again, Joe, and I was looking for a lot of different angles today. First thing I would say is that driving around South Florida, if all of Argentina isn't here, I don't know where they would be, because this was just everywhere I went today. The post office, food shopping. Every single person I saw today was wearing those Argentina colors and those jerseys, and a lot of Messi jerseys there today. This game is at Hard Rock. They're calling it Miami Stadium. Most of you know I'm only about 15, 20 minutes from there. So the home field advantage is definitely theirs. I don't know that they need it. If you look at any of the predictions before, this is a very dangerous game today, Joe, especially for Cabo Verde. I've seen predictions all over the map here. Argentina scoring 4 goals, 5 goals. Messi, for Messi to score a goal, you can't even bet it. It's like minus 300. You know, it's like a foregone conclusion almost that he's going to score. DePaul is another one on Messi or on Argentina. He's huge minus money to score as well. I mean, I don't know how many things you could really play here in this. A lot of it is not, unless you really like Cabo Verde. There's not a lot to play with Argentina. But it does appear that at least the prognostications and the odds makers are telling us that Argentina has a chance to make this the widest margin in any of the games in the World Cup today. And again, we'll watch and see how it goes. But that is kind of what it looks like here, is that Argentina is just so far superior. And, of course, they have the best player arguably in the history of the World Cup in Messi.
Of course, in Cabo Verde, they also played, Spain to a 0-0 draw to open up the group play. So, and they are one of the best favorites to win the whole thing. So we know that they can play tough. I don't know necessarily offense is going to be there for Cabo Verde, although Argentina, listen, they're not exactly the best defensive squad, but they are certainly extremely lethal offensively. And when you got Messi in Miami, I'm looking at the stands now, Craig, and you'd be hard to see any sort of Cabo Verde dark blue in the stands right now. It does not exist. But I will say this. As you can see, some of these prices with Messi, anytime
it's higher than that. It's higher than that. I saw minus 220, 230. Yeah. It's higher.
Yes. It's been nothing but public money coming in and backing Argentina here and Messi. But I will say this. It's been very profitable for us throughout this stage. It's called In-Game Live for a reason. And the big reason is what we have seen here is, man, wait, you get to that hydration break around 24, 25 minutes, and if there's no score, boy, oh boy, there are opportunities to get, let's say, very expensive favorites at much better prices if you just give it. If the game goes according to script and we're 0-0, which is what Cabo Verde wants, the longer we can get to the 30-minute mark, Craig, I think with there being no score, you're going to be able to get Argentina like we were able to get Brazil, and we were able to get England, and the list goes on. You're going to be able to get them at much better prices. So patience and some in-game betting, and just hurry up. When you see your number, go grab it. Could be very profitable, because it has been to this point with how much the lines drop when we go through 30 minutes of play and don't see any scoring on the board.
Yeah, and I think there is one small wrinkle in the game that I could speak to, of course, living close by. And Joe, you're not that far, seeing the weather today. There is a chance of rain at this game today. Now, that stadium in particular is fantastic. The grass is just absolutely fantastic in that stadium, and there's not going to be a puddle in the world. But how does lightning and thunder and rain affect it? There is a 20% chance of having that during this game. Joe, it's been overcast and almost rainy rainy all over South Florida today. I'm sure up by you in Jupiter too. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is the first time that we've had this issue for any of the World Cup games. So I don't know that we will. But as you said, it's probably a lot wiser to let some time play off here. And if you like either side, to make a judgment based on what you see. But I was just absolutely stunned to see that you can't bet a lot of these, put 2 or 3 of these players on Argentina to score a goal. Like you literally, like minus 120, minus 130, okay. I mean, Messi, you see there anytime minus 210. I saw much higher than that, by the way. And you're even, a lot of the players are barely even plus money here. That's just how good they are. Now, I don't know what'll happen if they move on and get to the next round, but I think that a lot of attempts, at least, are coming over from Argentina today. One thing you can't kind of quantify, and we saw this with goaltenders, is that a goalie has a great day, Joe. Maybe they don't score. Maybe they only score 2 goals. But I think the attempts are going to come, and they're going to wear down Cabo Verde. Either that, or we'll have the biggest upset on the air here at SportsGrid in the World Cup today.
Yeah, it would be tremendous. But again, Cabo Verde did this, and nobody even knew this was a team, a nation. Nobody even realized it until they took Spain to a 0-0 draw to open up group stage, and then everyone said, "What is going on with this team? They got a 40-plus-year-old goaltender who's been playing for a little while." The storyline is fantastic, but Argentina now on a 10-game winning streak here in the World Cup, and that's going back, obviously, to the last couple of World Cups. But can you believe it? They have never trailed at halftime in all 10 of those victories. Never once trailing at halftime. So they often play from in front, and when that happens, they become very difficult to beat because it forces the other teams to likely make a mistake or two, trying to be too aggressive, and guess what happens? Yep, that's when Messi and company get in, and that's where they put games away. So we'll see here. But Cabo Verde, we're going to be back to another one of these spots in the round of 32 where you can play all the defense you want. At some point, there are no draws here. Like, you are going to have to score in order to win and advance. And I'm not sure Cabo Verde does that in this match here. I mean, that's how dominant I think Argentina can be here.
Yeah, they thought that Messi would probably play in this World Cup, but it wasn't 100%. And then, of course, he committed to it. Yeah. And he's been the best player again in this World Cup. I mean, it's honestly like watching history at this point. Whether it is guys like LeBron James playing at his age or Tom Brady. I mean, Messi's in that conversation for best athlete or one of the best athletes of all time, just because it just doesn't seem like time stops this guy. But I mean, the same questions in 4 years from now will come up. Will Messi play again? Which is really hard to believe in 4 years from now that he would do it. But yeah, I mean, it's I would expect we're going to get a goal for him today. The only question is if we get 2. I mean, that's how crazy it is.
Keep in mind, they are champions until somebody beats them. Those are your defending World Cup champions here, Argentina, and they still are because nobody has beaten them since. So we'll see what goes on here. We've got you covered as in-game live game day continues on the grid.
He gives them a chance, but they've got to keep putting people around him. I think he's a very good quarterback. I don't know that he's the one that elevates you all by himself. I think he still needs the help. Excellent player, perfect guy to lead your organization, perfect place for it. And by the way, I'd start him from day one. I wouldn't waste any time on it. But got to put pieces around him, and John Spytek has already started doing that.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
This is the third time he's been medically checked. Even the refs coming over. He's like, dude, like come on. Like after every sort of play in front of the net, the kind of goal he's done.
Yeah.
He's
like,
on
stop
the
jumping.
Turf. He's on the turf, like you said, like he's like driving off the top rope. Look at him here again. I give him credit. He's freaking fearless.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Are you ready for el verano más futbolero de tu vida? Latination Football Club turns into Copa Nation, our live stream experience every day, de lunes a viernes, 11 a.m. Pacific and 2 p.m. Pacific as well. Checking in after the games. In that slot between games, we got you, my friend. We're going to have celebrities, legends of the game, content creators, and a bunch of our friends that are going to keep you entertained and informed, letting you know what's happening all across the 3 countries that are going to be experiencing this crazy football tournament. Don't miss it. Copa Nation right here on Latin Nation every day. Check it out.
All right, welcome back in-game live, and we are game day here, knockout stage ready, in fact, on the SportsGrid network. Joe Raineri alongside Craig Mish. 2 spots remain here in the 16, and we've got, well, 2 games left. One underway right now, Cape Verde taking on Argentina, the champions of the last World Cup, and 0-0 at the 13-minute mark. Still hovering around a $5-6 favorite, that Argentina. The market not moving just yet. Total, though, 2.5. Now juiced to the under. It was almost 3 in a number of different spots here. But 2.5 right now with the juice to the under, as we've gone now, 13 minutes without a goal. We haven't really seen a whole lot of great opportunities for Argentina. It's not as if they have been dominant right now, and boy, it could be 2-0. Cape Verde, again, they're going basically 9 guys back here, and they are just not going to allow Messi or anybody else to be able to have free reign here. So defensively, we know Cape Verde can handle their own. If you can shut down what we watched Spain yesterday, Craig, you and I, if you can limit them to no goals, then you can play some defense. But the question is, can they do it the entire way through? Because at some point, if they're going to win this game and upset the world, they're going to have to score, Craig, and that's the question.
Yeah. And look, another factor is here in South Florida, this is going to be one of the hottest World Cup days on record. It's just been sweltering today, Joe, as you know, as well. So, maybe them pacing themselves in the first half. Hydration break, honestly, this is one of those days where I don't blame them. I needed a hydration break outside today, too, so I get it. But, yeah, I mean, look, I think a good indication as we followed is the odds have not really shifted a lot. Usually 10 minutes in with nothing, these start to shift. Not a lot going on right now because I still think they feel like Argentina is going to get hot at some point. But look, Cape Verde's highlight of this entire tournament may be that first one, seemingly catching another team sleeping, and that's possible. But you're 100% right, Joe. You can't expect to go into a game like this or a match like this and not score. And I really would find it hard to believe that this would be a 0-0 tie. Amongst all the ones we saw, as we were doing shows, I thought 30 minutes in, we may have a 0-0 tie, but no, not this one. It's very hard to believe that we would.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see that. Messi did have a shot here, and he kind of sailed it a little bit to the left. He he had an opening. He could have beaten the 40-something-year-old. It's funny, a couple of 40-year-olds, right? Messi at 38. You got the goaltender Capo Verde at 40. And both look like they could use a few Advils after this game, that's for sure. But no goal, still 0-0 right now in this one. And that was by far, I think, their best shot to get anything going. And I got to give them credit there, Capo Verde. They're on the offensive, but still nothing to show for it as far as shots go. But plenty of time left here as we're approaching the 16-minute mark in this match. Should be fun to see, I guess, everyone at this point with those numbers we flashed earlier, Craig, right? With just one shot each at this point. None of them are on target of the two. We don't have a corner yet, but we do have a 72 to 28 percentage possession in favor of Argentina. So, again, if you're only possessing the ball 28% of the time, boy, you better make it count. But right now, they seem very content with, let's see if you can score in his first, Argentina, which is not a bad strategy now. But what's going to happen in the second half is going to be my question.
Messi almost scored, as you said, Joe, a few minutes ago. Like, I mean, honestly, that's a whiff. That he whiffed that. Like that was probably, yep. I mean, within, would you say 16, 17 inches really of scoring? Like, I felt like he had that corner and he just missed it. And, you know, easy for me to say sitting here in the chair, but that's one that I think Messi's going to look back and say, I easily had that one and he missed it. But so, I mean, saying that a team should be up 1-0, that's not really fair. But it's been total dominance in the first 17 minutes, 16 minutes here for Argentina, just constantly attacking, constantly playing in Cabo Verde. And that's, you know, a really interesting note here is for the most part, you really haven't seen any goals outside of 1 or 2 in the first 10 minutes of any match of the World Cup, because it feels like teams are simply feeling things out to see what the other team is going to bring. Argentina at this point is now, all right, well, listen, if Cabo Verde, you're not going to attack. Okay. All right. So now we're just going to go on the attack the rest of the game. And that could be really what Argentina decides to do. So 17 minutes in, no score. Messi has scored in 7 straight World Cup games going back to 4 years ago. That is incredible. And so we'll see if that streak continues today. All Argentina fans, I was kind 70-30 the other day, 80-20. Joe, I'm going 95-5 here for Argentina fans in the house in Miami today. Do you even do it? 5? Can I even give a 5 to Cabo Verde? Would you give 5%?
No, absolutely not on any level there. Nope, would not do it. Because I just don't see it happening. Although Messi does look like he's got a free kick coming. And definitely will have a opportunity to have something happen here. We'll see if he can bend it and get it done. I saw David Beckham in the building, big Miami guy there with what is that, Posh Spice? I don't know. Is he still married?
Victoria,
I think he is. Victoria Beckham there. Yes, not a great shot, by the way, on the free kick by kind of easy there by Messi. So. At least it's a shot on goal, and it is a save, so there are some positives there. He did make it over the front line, but just not enough juice on it in order to fake the goalie out. So 0-0 is what we got. I will say this, and I'll pose this to you, Craig, before we get to a break. We do have another football game happening right now in Major League Baseball, and the question is going to be, are we getting 20 runs out of St. Louis, who is up 16-0 over the Cubs in the bottom of the 6th? Or are we getting a Messi goal? What is more likely to happen? Messi scoring or the Cardinals scoring another 4 to get 20 on the board in the bottom of the 6th at Wrigley? We'll get his answer when in-game live game day continues here on the Grid. All right, welcome back in-game live at Game Day here on the SportsGrid Network. Joe Raineri alongside Craig Mish as we are watching about 22 minutes in now. We do have a hydration break coming up, and judging by the amount of sweat pouring off of these players at Miami Stadium here, Craig, the humidity is a little something else right now here in South Florida. They could use the hydration break. It is 0-0. And again, 22 minutes in right now, down to about minus 500 is what Argentina is. Interestingly enough, 2.5s really juiced to the under. So I'm kind of curious if we get to the hydration break with no score, will we start to see a 2 in there? Because I still think Argentina is going to be good for at least 2 goals in this game. I could be wrong, but I still had them down for at least 2 goals. I'm very unsure about Cabo. Nothing I've seen from Cabo Verde leads me to believe that any goals are coming unless everyone on Argentina falls down and passes out from heat stroke. I don't know what's going to, I just don't see them scoring here, Craig. You?
No, and they posted 2 goals, I guess, against Uruguay, and other than that match, they have no other goals in the World Cup, and now they have their toughest match here against Argentina. But Argentina, definitely you could see Messi and some of the players a little frustrated. There's no question that you could sense that. You see it on their faces. They feel like they should have had 1 goal, if not 2, already. And then the longer this goes, I mean, maybe that's where the tide turns a little bit. But to your point, Joe, until I see Cabo Verde, forget about a goal. Until I see them, on Argentina's side of the pitch here. Like, I mean, they're not even close. Like, when we get the 30 minutes or the hydration break, they're going to show us the percentages as to how much time of possession each country has had. You're going to see that Argentina's completely dominated the first 25 minutes of this. And this is just something that can't continue. You can't defend forever like this. As you said, guys are going to get tired in this, and Cabo Verde can't defend forever.
71-28 still in percentage of possession here. So needless to say, it's been all Argentina controlling pretty much the tempo and everything that is going on here. But even with all that possession, just 2 shots for Argentina, one of them on target. And we did get a save earlier, but we also had a wide right shot from Messi. Could have easily, it wasn't a great shot. We did have a free kick that was a save. So at least the goaltender here of Cabo Verde is getting worked out a little bit. Not so much for Argentina, but they are at the hydration break. We're at the 24-minute mark. Your last opportunity, if you like an under 2.5, I'm wondering how much longer it goes, Craig, before we might see 2s or maybe, dare I say, 1.5s showing up. But you're running out of time here because we know what happens the minute a goal takes center stage here. That line is gone. So you got an opportunity here. If you still think there's goals coming, and I do from Argentina, I just don't know that we're getting 3 goals in this match here, Craig. That's the thing I'm struggling with right now.
Well, maybe only Argentina. That would be the thing, but very similar to what we saw the other day with Spain. Yep. I mean, they did it themselves. This seems like it could play out exactly the same way. All the goals, more or less, in the second half. So it's dangerous for me. I just don't love the total in this one. I'm just going to pass altogether on it. I'm not sure which way it's going to go. But I think I would say this: the longer that it goes without Messi scoring a goal, that's when I would jump on him. Like if I thought at any point in this match, whether it's at the 45-minute mark or the 50 or the 60, and I could get Messi to score at minus 140, minus 130, that's when I would jump in here, because not only has he had penchant for scoring, but Joe, he's had a flair for the dramatic, scoring goals at the end of a lot of these matches. So for me, I would get in on that. Not yet, though. I'm not silly enough to do. I'm guessing his live line to score a goal. Without looking at it right now, I'm going to guess it's probably still minus 190, minus 180. But talk to me when it's minus 130, 140, 15, 20 minutes from now, I'll jump in.
Now, we have seen in a number of these spots in these games where big favorites all of a sudden get to this hydration break. And guess what, Craig? We got nothing going on, right? 0-0, or they were losing. whatever they have in the Gatorades here, or whatever they're giving them outside of it tends to get a little out of control after the hydration break. So we'll see if this is what Argentina needed. -160 we're seeing now in-game for a Messi goal. We'll let you know if he gets one as in-game live game day continues on the grid.
No way.
All right, welcome back in. It never fails here on In-Game Live Game Day. We go away for a couple minutes, and yes, Messi scores. Shocker. And we just told you -160 is what that was down from a high as -260 pregame. But, -160, cash it as Messi does get the goal, his 20th, I believe, and now the all-time leader, I think, in World Cup goals. If he wasn't already, but 1-0 is what we've got. Total back up to 3 and pretty much off the board now for any sort of money line or anything else along those lines. So the big question here now, any desperate moves by Cabo Verde to try to get the offense going here? And how much easier is it going to make, of course, Argentina to be able to score at least another goal? And let me say this, before the break, before we get to the intermission,
I think Messi's going to score twice. That's what I thought going in. But the first was not bettable. I still didn't think at -160. Our producer, Chris, is saying they're looking back in the control room at 3. But I would tell you this. This is not the pool. Okay, this is not the pool anymore. If they score twice and it's late, Messi's coming out. He's coming out of the game.
I agree.
They're not keeping him in. That's definitely going to happen. So they've been pulling him when they're up big, and they're going to pull him again here. The guy's 70 years old. Doesn't matter. I guess he just keeps scoring. So I like him with 2 here in this one. I do like him with 2. Cabo Verde's in huge trouble here, Joe. They're just getting no attempts whatsoever. It feels like Argentina's constantly taking shots at the net. A lot of the models we're showing 4-1, 3-1, and I think it could still happen. But my only concern is that, again, it's not a pool game, and so does Argentina just stop at some point and say, the heck with this, let's move on to the second round? I mean, they're not going to get an easier match on paper than they have with Cabo Verde today. That's just a fact.
No, absolutely. And again, defending champs, and, they've earned it. They've won their way right through this. And, Messi's a big reason why. And the stadium went absolutely ballistic. It is a home game for Argentina. Who are we kidding here? Just look at the stage. Look at the stands. The Dolphins wish they got this kind of response and these kinds of fans at their games here. But my goodness. And you can't be monopolized. You can't always have to play from your heels and expect that to be, a pathway to win. And unfortunately, Argentina has monopolized the ball, possessions. They keep putting the pressure on Cabo Verde. It's very hard to play when you're always running backwards, right, Craig? Because that's exactly what it feels like right now with Cabo Verde. If you're never attacking and you're always on the retreat, which is what they are, yeah, we could get a few more goals here before this thing is all said and done. So I still think they get another one before the break here, before the intermission. That's kind of what I'm rooting for here at the 33-minute mark. We still got over 10 minutes here for them to be able to score one more. And I'm with you. If it does happen to be Messi, we might not see him in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, I do think he'll play a little in the second half. They've been pulling him late. But to your point here, and the other thing that's really going to come out of this too is that it is Cabo Verde, so that's why I think Messi's number was -220 or -230 to score. But I got news for you. In their next match, Joe, it's going to be close to -200 again. I mean, the guy scores every single match. Like, it doesn't seem to matter who they play against. Now, they're going to have a much tougher draw, I know, in the next round, and it'll be much more difficult. And so that's why 2 goals may be a lot to ask for. But with the way that he is playing, and just think, Joe, earlier in the match, in the first 10 minutes, if he just barely missed what could have been an easy goal. I mean, he really should have 2 in this match already. And we're only 30 minutes in. There's still a full 60 minutes left in this match or more. I mean, I don't know, Joe. I think it's going to come again.
7th goal of this World Cup, leading, obviously, the that golden ball or golden boot, rather. Well, both, really. Very much up for grabs here. Yeah, the ball and the boot from Messi here. Who is, Mbappe is second with 6 goals, but that's his 7th goal of this World Cup. And my word, it is impressive. We still don't have a corner kick, by the way, no corners. But we do have 3 total shots from Argentina, 2 on target, 1 goal. And Cabo Verde, to their credit, they do have at least 2 shots on goal, so they won't get blanked there. But that's about the only spot right now, the bright spot that they have going on. I will say this. I think you're right about Messi next round as well, because the winner of this, they're taking on Egypt in Atlanta on July 7th. Yeah. And, yeah, I'm sorry, but Egypt...
Probably going to be -200 again.
Yeah, exactly, Craig. I don't see you getting a discount because Egypt's somehow going to be able to keep him under wraps. That's not a great matchup for Egypt either. Congrats, you got past Australia earlier today. But Australia had gone, I think, over 240-plus minutes in the World Cup without scoring a goal. So offensively, not even in the same zip code, in the same realm as what Argentina is. So that's going to be a tough one for Egypt. And that winner of this game is moving on. That's the 7th in Atlanta. So this Tuesday, it's going to be very, very interesting. We have another game, though, Greg. One more tonight with Ghana and Colombia. And Colombia also showing some, so a lot of fan favorites for Colombia, too. This one, I believe, is at Arrowhead tonight in Kansas City. And... listen, Ghana, give them credit. I thought they might be a little bigger dog than what they are. -200, -220 for Colombia tonight, but they have been very good. And I mean very good. And they are very hard to score on. And Ghana is much like Cabo Verde, not exactly offensive minded, can play some defense, very athletic, but I don't know that that's going to be enough to beat Colombia here tonight. I think this is another one where Colombia is likely going to score 1, and that might be enough to win this game.
Yeah, I do think Ghana has a better shot to score tonight than Cabo Verde. I would say that. I mean, Ghana, I think, has a chance to post a goal. But to your point, I mean, you look at the kind of favorite that Colombia is, and I do expect that they will move on as well. They do have a better shot, though, I would say, than Cabo Verde does against Argentina. And, odds notwithstanding, Ghana has played relatively well throughout. They do deserve some credit. Is that the upset? Like Uruguay, is that the next upset coming? Because truthfully, Joe, this knockout round has not produced a lot of upsets. I mean, we got to call it what it is. This has not been like the March Madness of the NCAA tournament. It's been the favorites winning almost every single match. So, this was, I would say Ghana is probably like the 3rd or 4th most popular shot, maybe to pull off an upset, but I can't do it. I probably still take Colombia. I see Shakira, by the way, in the crowd there, too.
Yeah, yep, saw that. Yep, very excited there, rooting everybody on. But I'll tell you this, Ghana, yeah, they don't tend to start quick. In fact, they have failed to score a first-half goal in their last 10 international games. They've trailed at the break at 5 of them, and yet, get this, has only trailed at halftime in 1 of their last 22 international matches here, including the World Cup. So this is a team that likes to play in front and then shut you down, and then good luck trying to score. So maybe a first half Colombia bet could be in my future here tonight, expecting them to play from in front for the majority of that one there. But Argentina playing from in front right now. 2.5 is the in-game total. If you think we got some goals coming here, and I still think we might get one more before the break, come back and join us. We'll let you know if something happens here as in-game live game day continues on the grid. All right, welcome back in-game live game day here on the Sports Grid Network. Joe Raineri alongside Craig Mish as we're trying to see what happens next. Either we get 20 runs in the Cardinals-Cub game or Messi scores another goal. Right now it's close here, 17-0 right now at Wrigley. Messi's already in at about the 42-minute mark here. 1-0 Argentina over Cape Verde, and let's face it, we might not see a goal from Cape Verde here at this point, but let's see what our good friend here, Devin Crittenden, thinks on whether or not we get 20 or more runs at Wrigley first or another Messi goal here. What are you thinking, my man?
Well, look, I'm not going to lie. I'm not a big baseball guy, but I got to think I'm going to go Messi. The guy just inevitable. I can't believe it. He scored again. I can't believe he scored again. People are hitting these chalk parlays in this tournament. They're hitting Messi to score twice, parlayed with Mbappe to score twice, parlayed with Erling Haaland to score twice, and they're hitting it. It's crazy.
Yep.
Devin, historically speaking, when we're seeing this kind of greatness, and I know you said you're not much of a baseball guy, but it's like I hate to throw Shohei Ohtani or Tom Brady or LeBron James but I have to do it with this guy because it's so hard in sports to succeed. But then when you're expected to succeed and you still do and go above and beyond, not having the experience like you do watching soccer as much as I have. Now, I'm familiar with Messi, of course, living in South Florida. Of course, he's playing here and has for the last couple of years. So I do get it. And I see him scoring every single time he plays. But he's going to probably exit the World Cup as the best player ever in the World Cup. And I guess we should just start asking ourselves that, is it fair to put him in that category in sports? With the Michael Jordans, with the Muhammad Ali's, the best all time in the sport. I don't think we would have done that 4 years ago. I think we have to do it now.
Yeah, for me, it's no doubt. I mean, the guy's magical. You start talking about soccer longevity players that have been around. You bring up Pele, right? The greatest Brazilian player ever, won a bunch of World Cups before my time, certainly. Then you talk about Maradona, another famous Argentine player, also wore number 10, but this guy Messi is just different. The longevity, the statistics, the multiple competitions, different cups, domestic leagues. I think everybody, myself included, thought, he's going to MLS, he's going to drop off, it's kind of a farewell tour. Then he shows up and he has a hat trick in his first game at the World Cup here. I'm just completely in awe of the guy. I think he is at that GOAT level. I mean, right? The Tom Brady's, as you mentioned, players like that. Are we putting Ohtani there? I mean, look, I'm not a big baseball guy, but is Ohtani in that GOAT debate now for baseball?
Devin, I mean, I'll defer to Joe. Shohei Ohtani is the best baseball player I've ever seen. So I'm 53. Wow. I've never ever seen anybody be able to pitch and hit. So Devin, here's the thing, is that when I was a kid and Joe was a kid, Joe played baseball, I followed baseball. If you ever told us there'd be a pitcher and a hitter and doing it at a semi-high level in baseball, not at his level, semi-high level, you would have said that player is the MVP of Major League Baseball every single season. And he's not just doing it at a semi-high level. He's the best at it too. So yes, Devin, he is. He's playing now, so it's kind of hard to see it, but to answer your question, Devin, in my mind, he's the single best player that I've ever seen play Major League Baseball with what he's able to do on both sides. Go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
No. The only thing I'd say is just imagine Deion Sanders playing quarterback and playing defensive back in the same game and being as good as he is. That's what we're talking about there. But he's also not 38. And leading the World Cup in goals right now.
That's true.
You've got to be kidding me. So, and listen, he's still got a few years left in him. But bottom line is, listen, Argentina wins this. We don't want to put a bow on it just yet. They go to Atlanta. Egypt won earlier on penalty kicks. And I'm sorry, the path looks very, very clear here for Argentina to continue to move on. I don't see a lot of roadblocks for them defending here at this point, at least over the next game or so. What about you? How far can they go here with this team?
Oh, all the way. I mean, this team does not concede goals. Look, they win them tight. This one, I picked exact score 2-0 in this, so there's a path. But it gets tricky in these knockouts. So the team goes ahead, then you really got to go for it. A draw doesn't really suit you. So maybe Cape Verde throws guys forward at the end, and it leaves space, like we saw with the Spain game the other day.
Mm-hmm.
But you look at the path here. As soon as Argentina won their group, and I saw where they're going to be in this bracket, I just went and just hammered outright Argentina to win this thing. And I think that's the best way to take them, because you're going to get good value on that. And you mentioned the path looks pretty nice. I mean, maybe they get Colombia in that. I guess that would be the quarterfinal round. And that's kind of a devil that knows you kind of situation. These teams have a lot of matches against one another in recent years, but you still would have Argentina be favorites there. I think they're favorites all the way through to the final. And then maybe you get them as a dog against like a France, and then you can kind of hedge out of that kind of middle, that final. But it's really hard for me to see them not at least going to the semis here.
Hey, Devin, before you go, what were the odds makers, or what were we all missing that Argentina was not they did not have the shortest odds to win the World Cup, and they were not second, and they were not third? Why? What was the reasoning behind that going in, do you think?
For me, the only thing I chalked it up to was just maybe Argentina fatigue. It was a little bit like they just won it. No teams won back-to-back the World Cup since, I want to say, Brazil in like the 60s or 70s. So for them to repeat would just be so unheard of. And then it's like Messi, you go, he's in MLS now. He's kind of over it. And yet he comes out and he's scoring goals in bunches. I think that was the big thing. People didn't realize how dominant this guy is, how incredible he still is on the biggest stage.
Devin, we appreciate it. We didn't even know if he'd be playing. Who are we kidding? We got more in-game live game day continuing here on All right, welcome back in-game live game day, and we are at the break right now. Cape Verde 0, Argentina 1 right now at the break. Joe Raineri alongside Craig Mish. This is the second of the 3 games, the final 3 games today, in fact, in the knockout stage. As winner of this game will move on to face Egypt in Atlanta on Tuesday. Egypt won earlier. That was the first game here today on penalty kick. So I believe now, Craig, we are up to, I believe, 5 games total that were in the round of 32 decided by penalty kick. So that was an interesting prop we talked about. Yep, went way over at a big price there. But listen, this one's we still got a half to go here. What are some of the odds that we're looking at the break here in this one?
All right, let's see if I can tempt you here at all with this one. So, Messi to score a second goal. So this is 2+ goals. He is minus 150 to score 2+ goals. So there you go. So that's the latest with Messi. As far as both teams to score, I know you've hit that a lot, Joe, in this one. Plus 334 at this point in the match for both teams to score. You already have one. So you just need the other at plus 334.
And I do not see it.
Yeah, I don't see it either. Nope. Let's see if, not much else. 3-goal score. Let me do 3 here. So Messi is plus 284 to score 3 times. Why is Jose Manuel Lopez minus 105 for 3 goals? I don't understand this. What am I missing here?
No,
he doesn't have a goal.
He don't have anything.
How is he minus 105 to have 3 in the second half? That's a mistake.
3 or him by himself having 3? Oh, no, I don't see that. Well, that would be a heck of a second half, I'll tell you that.
It'd be the best half of anybody at the World Cup. It's got to be an error. It's got to be an error.
Fantastic. That would be great.
So minus 150 or 160 for Messi to have 2, and 3 is plus 284. So there's a shot. There's a shot of that. You know, that's not a lot of odds on that's actually a short number for 3. So I tend to think, Joe, we're going to get a second half Messi goal, but my concern is we're going to be watching this thing, and we're going to be, at 7:42 Eastern, and he's going to be out of the game.
Yep.
Right? Like I think he's going to come out. Yeah, I think he's going to come out if they're up 2-0. So
I do think they are going to need another goal here before any of that takes place. So whether or not he gets it, or I think it depends on when the goal happens too. I think if they come out and they score quickly, then we're probably not looking at a full half for Messi at this point. So you might kind of be dead in the water there. But again, Cape Verde has played a lot of, you mentioned they have only 2 goals. They're here in the knockout stage because they don't allow teams to do a whole lot of scoring against them. So I counted 3 really good opportunities for Argentina to score. And they had another opportunity there in the final couple of minutes for the break that they weren't able to capitalize on. But they only have 1, right? So it's still 1-0. Right. I just don't know, what does Cape Verde do to open it up here a little? They're going to have to start taking some chances here. This isn't the group stage where, hey, let's just get a draw. We'll take our point and we'll live to fight another day. That's not what this is. So, 1 goal could turn into 3 goals, Craig, real quickly here with Argentina and how they're just attacking the entire time. So that's the weird. But if they don't score, and let's say we get to the next hydration break and it's still 1-0, do we look then to maybe jump in on a prop like that for Messi? Because he won't sit if it's 1-0.
Right, that's true. I'll jump in on all of the Argentina props, but I'm not doing anything with Cape Verde, man. They have shown absolutely nothing. I mean, nothing at all. No way. I mean, this is...
No way.
I mean, of all of the matches that we've seen, they've looked the worst. They looked worse than anyone. I mean, they haven't given up 5 goals. I get that. But offensively, they've been the poorest of any of the shows that I've done. They've looked the worst.
second half goals, 1.5 right now. Do we get 2 goals in the second half?
Maybe.
Likely going to have to come from Argentina. Don't hate it. But I think we can get a better price 5 minutes into the second half. So we'll keep an eye on it as in-game live game day continues.
He gives them a chance, but they've got to keep putting people around him. I think he's a very good quarterback. I don't know that he's the one that elevates you all by himself. I think he still needs the help. Excellent player, perfect guy to lead your organization, perfect place for it. And by the way, I'd start him from day one. I wouldn't waste any time on it. But got to put pieces around him, and John Spytek has already started doing that.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
This is the third time he's been medically checked. Even the refs coming over. He's like, dude, like come on. Like after every sort of play in front of the net, the kind of goal he's done.
Yeah.
He's
like,
on
stop
the
jumping.
Turf. He's on the turf, like you said, like he's like driving off the top rope. Look at him here again. I give him credit. He's freaking fearless.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Are you ready for el verano más futbolero de tu vida? Latin Nation Football Club turns into Copa Nation, our live stream experience every day, de lunes a viernes, 11 a.m. Pacific and 2 p.m. Pacific as well. Checking in after the games. In that slot between games, we got you, my friend. We're going to have celebrities, legends of the game, content creators, and a bunch of our friends that are going to keep you entertained and informed, letting you know what's happening all across the 3 countries that are going to be experiencing this crazy, crazy football tournament. Don't miss it. Copa Nation right here on Latin Nation every day. Check it out.
All right, welcome back in-game live game day here on the SportsGrid Network. Welcome in as we've got another half and another hour together here in this second of the elimination rounds. It's the knockouts at the World Cup, and we've got one game in the books. We've got a half to go here. 1-0 Argentina on top in Miami against Cape Verde. We'll have one game coming up after that, and then that'll be the end of the knockout stage. We'll move on to the final 16. That'll be Ghana and Colombia. But it's all about Messi right now, whether or not we can get another goal out of him in the second half, because he scored the first goal for Argentina here, and in about 4 or 5 minutes, we're going to see if he's got one more in him. And Craig, you talked about 2 or more in the game being actually not a bad price considering. And I kind of like it here. I think he scores again in the second half here. And that would give him at least, 2 goals. Though the last game, that game 3 in the group stage, I think they brought him in for a penalty kick. And I think that's how he scored a goal. But any game he has started, he's had at least 2 goals, I think. They're started with a hat trick. So I expect at least one more from Messi as long as he's out on the field.
Yeah, he's about minus 150 to score again, which is crazy. I mean, when you think about that, to get 2 goals in a game from any player, you're not going to see Mbappe or Haaland or Ronaldo or any of those guys in this to score twice. I mean, once is like still you generally don't want to lay huge numbers here. I mean, it's been even on a couple of the great players in the World Cup, minus 105, minus 110. But yeah, we're getting to that point where you may get better odds with, this is crazy. you may get better odds, Joe, on Messi scoring a second goal than you do on him scoring a first in the remainder of the World Cup. I mean, think about that.
Ooh.
Like, you're getting it right, because think he's going to be minus 200 for the rest of the way now. I mean, that's it. Like, they're not giving away money at these sports books. They can't do it. Even if he doesn't do it, they can't give it away. So you're and so what's the difference, honestly, when you think about the first half versus the second half? What, just because they're up 1-0? So I guess the only detriment is if somebody else scores for Argentina now.
Correct.
Then we have to start watching and thinking, like, is he coming out? You know, and I don't think it'll happen right away, but you don't want to underestimate that. If Cabo Verde shows nothing in the first 15, 20 minutes, they're going to start pulling people if it's 2-0 at that point. Argentina's playing this in the long run, and all they're going to have to do is play defense the rest of the way. So we really didn't see Spain do that until the last, what would you say, Joe, like 20 minutes of the match? All of a sudden, they just were unloading everybody and taking everybody out. So I would say probably close to 30 minutes in, if Argentina's up 2-0, Messi will come out. That'd be my prediction. About 30 minutes in, but they got to be up 2-0.
I think yes, absolutely, and I do think we have a good opportunity, at least until the midway point of the second half. I think I think Argentina is going to go for. They're not going to sit back here. They're not going to give Ghana. I think they want to put them away, get them away early. And then, kind of take the air out of it and coast from there. I still think 2-0 is not a bad exact score, Craig, if you want to go that route. I'm rooting for 3-0, which would be great because, again, Cabo Verde winning, scoring, much less winning. I just don't see it. So I do think a 2-0, 3-0 is not a bad way on the exact score market either at pretty decent prices. Because it definitely feels like we're getting one more here, at least one more from Argentina. I would be shocked, quite honestly, if this ended 1-0. That's not what I'm expecting to happen here. You?
Yeah, I think we'll get another goal. I don't know that we'll get two, but then again, just one would put the under in play at under 2.5. My sense is we still get more than two, though. I don't know. I don't love the under here. And I know we're just looking at maybe one side in Argentina scoring, but I mean, 2-0, a few minutes to go. Could Cabo Verde get crazy and score? Yeah, I mean, I guess that's possible. So I just didn't love the total here in this one, but I did feel great that we watched a half where we got a chance to broadcast a game, and not broadcast a game, but watch a game with everyone who's watching and talk about Messi scoring a goal. Like, I think, to me, that's will be my best takeaway from here. I know I still have a couple of, I don't know how many shows I have left doing because I got baseball stuff next week, but my thing will be I always got a chance to broadcast when Messi was on the air and he scored a goal. So I think, Joe, that was super cool. Maybe not as cool as the wedding today, right? There's a big wedding, my understanding is Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. So they were either there or they're at this match.
Did that already take place at Madison Square Garden?
Now.
Is that
right now? Right now.
Wow. That's I didn't get the invite. That's kind of disappointing.
It's okay.
Madison Square Garden. My goodness. I did look, by the way, into prediction markets at some of the props for that wedding. Yes, they were extremely interesting. In fact, I couldn't figure out how Jason Kelce was only 96 cents to actually attend a wedding. And I'm saying, how is he not going to be at his brother's wedding?
The brother?
And then I was, yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. How is that not 100%? Who's actually fading the fact that Jason Kelce is not going to be at this wedding? So
that falling
strange.
out. I'm just kidding.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I was like, I almost wanted to bet it on principle alone, but I'm glad to know that it's actually going off. Now, the next market will be how soon before the divorce is finalized. So that will coming. Hey, listen, wish them the best, but it is Hollywood after all there. All right, we're underway, 46 minutes in, and we're still 1-0. The Ghana-Colombia game coming up after this one. Also, Colombia is getting, as I'm watching the money come in, it looks like they're getting a little bit more money every break here, Greg, and it makes sense because Colombia's been a lot of people have bet them to be maybe a dark horse or certainly an underdog once they get to the round of 16 in the quarterfinals, and they're a tough team. And at this point, we talked last hour to our friend Devin there, and he says, listen, at some point it could be Colombia and this side of the bracket versus Argentina, and those two have had some battles over the years. So, you know, it's not going to be as easy as it is right now is what it looks like for Argentina, but yeah, and I'm very forward looking to give me the round of 16, let's see, you know, once you start getting rid of some of the Ghanas and the Cabo Verdes that are good,
Right.
But Craig, there are levels to this, and we have seen some teams that are just, they're a notch above everybody else.
Yeah, and I think that from the World Cup's perspective, I think that they got the best of both worlds here. The majority of the matches, the favorites won. They got the one big upset with Uruguay beating Germany, was it? If I get that right, I think that's the one big upset that there was in this round, right? And that's it. Every other match has more or less been Paraguay beating Germany, right? So you know, that's it, and then the rest of the big countries are in it. But now I know what the World Cup wants, Joe, and now they want upsets. You know, now the next round they expect the unexpected. They did not want to have some of the best countries knocked out before this, but when you're going down from 16 to 8, they'll take whatever it is at this point. And so I'm very much looking forward to it tomorrow, and certainly Team USA's match I think will be one of the more compelling ones when they take on Belgium on Tuesday.
Yeah, I think they'll handle Belgium well. I don't think that'll be an issue. It's going to be what happens after that that becomes extremely interesting. Is Portugal going to continue? You know, we forgot about Ronaldo here, who's still very much a part of the World Cup here. And they, too, what a match that was late night last night.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about that as In-Game Live Game Day continues on the grid.
Older players in the WNBA going, hey man, we were here when they were paying us nothing. We were here when we had to go overseas to make a paycheck. You're walking in here, you don't realize how easy you have it. So there is some of that too. But yeah, Jordan got beaten up. Magic got beaten up. Bird got beaten up. Kareem got beaten up. You know, Wemby is getting beaten up, by the way.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
This is the third time he's been medically checked. Even the refs coming over. He's like, dude, like come on. Like after every sort of play in front of the net, the Ghana goalie's done.
Yeah.
He's
like,
on
stop
the
jumping.
He's on the turf, like you said, like he's like driving off the top rope. Look at him here again. I give him credit. He's freaking fearless.
In-Game Live, only on SportsGrid.
Pitching has been really good in their bullpen too. So Chris Getz, their general manager, credit to him. You know, this guy was getting pounded a couple of years ago for decisions and everything like that, but man, it is seemingly working out. The fans, by the way, all of a sudden are pouring in there. Their attendance is on the rise too. So a great sign that the White Sox are in this thing. Now, long term, I don't know. Like, is this a postseason team? Is it a deep postseason team?
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the SportsGrid Network. Joe Raineri alongside Craig Mish, and 1-0. Craig still, although I must admit, Cabo Verde, they seem to be a little bit more aggressive here since they've come out to start the second half. They had one shot in the general direction of the goaltender of Argentina. I kind of woke him up a little bit. He wasn't expecting any shots coming his way, but it did sail way high, but at least it was in the right direction, baby steps at this point. But 52 minutes in, 2.5 is still the in-game total. And it's just a matter of time, I think, before, well, here we go. Argentina had a pretty good opportunity there and weren't able to corral it. But yeah, it doesn't feel, again, if it feels like when are we going to get that second goal? And I'm very much liking the 2-0 exact score right now, the more I watch this here, Craig.
Yeah, I think you got to at least say the first 5 minutes of this opening second half, Cabo Verde has shown a little bit of positivity here. Like, they did attack. They had a couple of corner kicks. So maybe there's a chance that they get a goal. But then as soon as they did, as you just mentioned, Joe, Argentina literally went right down the field. Messi made a great pass, by the way, like a fantastic pass. Yep. He would have gotten assists. But the player on Argentina, I don't know what happened. What did he do? Kick the ball straight in the ground or something? I couldn't even tell what he did there.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
Yeah, it feels like Argentina will open this up at some point and they will score. But yeah, that's kind of, when I'm watching this, my feeling is just it's a matter of how much Argentina wins by. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's come. But we got another. Oh, what a great save! Listen, Cabo Verde actually putting the heat on right now, and dare I say, this is what makes this so much fun, Greg, because you cannot sleep. It's not like it's 3-0 right now, right? Although it probably, given the quality of the shots that Argentina missed, they easily could have been 3-0. But who are we kidding here at this point? You sleep. Next thing you know, Cabo Verde ties this up at 1-1, and we got ourselves a different match. But I still think the second goal is coming, but I still think it's going to be by Argentina. But so far, more improvement here, urgency I'm seeing from Cabo Verde, which is exactly what we thought we would get here at this point.
Yeah, and look, in order for them to stay in the match, they're going to have to at least try to score a goal. We've seen a lot of other teams in the Cup go down 1-0, and then just we're waiting and nothing happens until the last 10 minutes of the match, but not the case today. Like I said, give some credit to Cabo Verde for fighting a little bit here and trying to stay in this thing. The danger zone is going to be, Joe, they're going to attempt a shot, they're going to miss, and then Argentina's going to take it down and score. I think that's probably what's going to happen, but they can't worry about that right now. You're trying to move on. You're not going to win penalty kicks here at the end. If they tie, they are not going to win that battle with Argentina. They're going to still be a heavy favorite there. Their best shot is in regulation to somehow score 2 goals. I know they can't even score 1, but that would be the goal for them, to try and at least make the attempt. If you give up another one, you lose 2-0. No harm, no foul. You were losing 1-0 anyway.
Right.
Gotta try.
Yeah, I agree. And just to give you an idea, it is now 4 shots apiece in this game here. 4 for Argentina, 4 for Cabo Verde. So, there wasn't that long ago in the first half, we were laughing and saying, gee, are they even going to get more than 1 shot on goal here? They do have 4 total shots, 1 on target, even a couple of corners now. I think we have 2 corners in the game, and both by Cabo Verde. So, and all of a sudden, 65, 64% to 35%. So, time of possession is great to have, but if you're not scoring, you're just allowing the other team to hang around, and that's kind of exactly what's happening here right now in this match. So, got to give them credit. They are hanging in here. And by the way, 2+ goals in 9 straight World Cup games. That's what Argentina's streak is at. And of the scores that I don't expect, 1-0 is not a score I expect. I do think 2 goals are coming. And I'm kind of shocked with the does it feel like maybe foot off the gas here by Argentina a little bit? Because it doesn't feel like they're playing with the same kind of intense, and it is hot in South Florida. So, but it doesn't feel like the same sense of urgency from Argentina in this second half.
It just feels like the pace is the same as the first 10 minutes of the first half. It feels like that's what's going on here. And whatever the coach of Cabo Verde told their team, they basically said, hey, look, we got to try and score. And if we go down, we go down. We're going to go down swinging, because they have definitely, I would say, in this first 11 and a half minutes, Cabo Verde has dominated the time of possession. It's only 11 minutes, very small sample, but they have had the ball more and they have taken more shots on Argentina. So a completely different scenario from what we saw in the first half. But that is the danger zone when you're going up against a team like this. And Messi, really aggressive. You saw them go after the goaltender too. I was surprised to see that. I don't know what he thought he was going to do there. Take the ball away from the goaltender and maybe score. But we'll keep an eye on that and all of the props too. And it does seem to me maybe we've avoided some bad weather as well. I'm looking outside my house here and I'm seeing there. It seems like we're going to get this one in with no issue.
Yeah, it looks like it is clearing up at this point. And, we're going to have a yellow card or no? All right, they're just going to get possession there. But give credit Cabo Verde. They are bringing it right now to this Argentinian squad that felt like even they think like it should be 3-0. But the problem is, it doesn't work like that. You only got one goal on the board. 4 shots apiece, though. And that tells you everything you need to know. Possession is great, but they're not getting these great shots right now and putting the pressure on Cabo Verde like we saw earlier in the first half. 8 fouls, by the way, for Argentina. So they've committed a little more, some penalties there. It'll be interesting to see if maybe they get a little more physical here with Cabo Verde as this match continues. But we're coming up on the 60-minute mark here, and I'm yet to see a shot on goal by Argentina here in the second half. So we'll keep an eye on it as in-game live game day continues here on the grid.
The older players in the WNBA going, hey man, we were here when they were paying us nothing. We were here when we had to go overseas to make a paycheck. You're walking in here, you don't realize how easy you have it. So there is some of that too. But yeah, Jordan got beaten up. Magic got beaten up. Bird got beaten up. Kareem got beaten up. You know, Wemby is getting beaten up, by the way.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
This is the 3rd time he's been medically checked. Even the refs coming over. He's like, dude, like come on. Like after every sort of play in front of the net, the kind of goal he's done. He's
stop jumping.
He's on the turf, like you said, like he's like driving off the top rope. Look at him here again. I give him credit. He's freaking fearless.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Pitching has been really good in their bullpen too. So Chris Getz, their general manager, credit to him. This guy was getting pounded a couple of years ago for decisions and everything like that, but man, it is seemingly working out. The fans, by the way, all of a sudden are pouring in there. Their attendance is on the rise too. So a great sign that the White Sox are in this thing. Now, long term, I don't know. Like, is this a postseason team? Is it a deep postseason team?
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Well, it just never stops. We go away, you come back, you join us, and we've got another goal on the board. Only this time, it's not Messi, it's not Argentina, it's Cape Verde. And just like that, Greg, we said it. Man, you better wake up, Argentina, because you are one goal away from this being a totally different match. And that's exactly where we're at. Great goal by Cape Verde, but all because they continued the pressure and the urgency. And I didn't like what I was seeing from Argentina in the second half because it looked like they were just kind of going through the motions as if they were up 2 or 3 goals. And well, it's 1-1 now. We're at the 63-minute mark. And let's take a look here at the odds because now Argentina minus 180. And the total is now back to 3 here. So what are we thinking? Because I didn't see Cape Verde scoring here. So what are you thinking we have here now, Craig?
Man, this is tough. I didn't expect this at all. So, you know, the drama starts to heat up here to the thought process that maybe this ends in a draw. I mean, we're 30 minutes away from that possibility happening, which I never would have thought. But they just Argentina now is definitely on the attack. I mean, there's no quite. Oh, here goes Messi. Oh, great block here. Okay, so I got a little live shot there. Yeah, great
save.
So here are the options, interestingly enough. Method of victory over on FanDuel. I'm going to read them off to you. Argentina in extra time plus 455. Argentina in a penalty shootout plus 1010. Cape Verde in a penalty shootout plus 1320. And in extra time plus 32-30. Those are all the options that the match doesn't get a goal now for the next 15 or 20 minutes. Yeah, I think anything is in play. But look, this would obviously be the biggest upset of the World Cup thus far. And by the way, we're closing in on the biggest upset thus far. I don't think anybody had this 64 minutes in being tied, but here we are. I still would expect them to Argentina to get aggressive and win this one. They're making some substitutions here, it looks like, and I don't know what that necessarily mean. I don't know a ton about all the players that they have here, but you said minus 180. That's it. They're all the way down to minus 180.
That's it. That's correct. And it's crazy because it's again the books they took it off the board after Messi scored that opening goal, and you would have thought that the match was already over, but it is far from over here. And again, total sitting at 3 now. You can get 3 in a lot of spots. So, yeah, the question is it going to be regulation 3, right? Do we get 2 more goals here? And the 65 minutes in, we'll have a hydration break coming up, and it feels like Argentina can use that hydration break here. Who are we kidding? But different energy this half, and there's no way around it. You could watch it. Everything feels like it's been a little bit different here in the second half, and kudos to Cape Verde for getting it done. But you'd be hard-pressed now. Draw is plus 179, Greg, plus 175. Could this go 1-1? Is that possible here?
I still think Argentina wins, but I don't know how they're going to get it done. That's what's kind of hard to predict at this point. I can't imagine. Oh, I mean, I didn't imagine them scoring. Can you imagine Cape Verde scoring again and winning in regulation 2-1? That would be just a massive upset. Yep. But the second they gave up that goal, by the way, Argentina got way more aggressive here. So yes, I mean, they're basically they're owning this side of it. Yeah, they're owning this side of the pitch.
Yep. Yeah, and it's I think once we hit the hydration break here, I do think that we'll probably see even more. Now, Argentina did already make a couple of subs here, Craig, and again, it's very hot. They certainly have some depth here, Argentina. Cape Verde, not so much. I mean, the guys that were there are still there. They haven't made any substitutions just yet, but they are certainly playing with a whole lot more energy here in the second half, which is great. But 5 shots apiece on goal, 4 shots on target for Argentina, 2 for Cape Verde. But hey, they got 1 in the net. Just 3 corners in this game so far. And the time of possession, sure enough, Now we're down to about 60-40 here, Craig, from about 70-30, and that is big for Cape Verde. So we'll see if any new numbers come posting in, but boy, Argentina might have their hands full here, the defending champs. We got you covered here as In-Game Live Game Day continues on the grid.
The older players in the WNBA going, hey, man, we were here when they were paying us nothing. We were here when we had to go overseas to make a paycheck. You're walking in here, you don't realize how easy you have it. So there is some of that too. But yeah, Jordan got beaten up. Magic got beaten up. Bird got beaten up. Kareem got beaten up. You know, Wemby is getting beaten up, by the way.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
This is the third time he's been medically checked. Even the refs coming over. He's like, dude, like come on. Like after every sort of play in front of the net, the kind of goal he's done. He's
stop jumping.
He's on the turf, like you said, like he's like driving off the top rope. Look at him here again. I give him credit. He's freaking fearless.
In-Game Live, only on SportsGrid.
Pitching has been really good in their bullpen too. So Chris Getz, their general manager, credit to him. This guy was getting pounded a couple of years ago for decisions and everything like that, but man, it is seemingly working out. The fans, by the way, all of a sudden are pouring in there. Their attendance is on the rise too. So a great sign that the White Sox are in this thing. Now, long term, I don't know. Like, is this a postseason team? Is it a deep postseason team?
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back In-Game Live. I can't believe it. We actually got back from a break and no score, although Messi did have a free kick there that, hit a guy right in the back of the head there, and as they lined up, that I could feel it watching it, Craig, so I'm not sure that guy's going to have a headache here, but once again, Cape Verde hanging in there as we approach the 70-minute mark here. In game right now, minus 150 for Argentina to win in regulation. If you think they got one goal in them. Now, listen, plenty of time, right? What do we got? 30 minutes left in this game. Yeah. Plenty of time. But outside of, and to your point, once they scored that goal, Cape Verde, and tied it up, it's kind of been, Argentina seemed to finally wake up here a little bit because they have been a lot more aggressive. Did not like that energy coming out of the second half there, coming out for it. And Cape Verde took advantage of it. So 2.5 goals right now here, Craig. What are you thinking? Over 2.5?
Yeah, I do. I still think we get another one before this ends. I do. I feel like either. I agree. And listen, Cape Verde, I think they were a little lucky to get that. We'll see. Maybe they get another one, and I'll be completely wrong about their World Cup exploits here this go around. But to me, Argentina is definitely the better team. If they get upset, there's going to be a lot of questions, of course, for the coach, the manager. What happened in the early part of the second half? Why'd you guys come out so sluggish, etc. But I think them making the subs as quickly as they did immediately after that, Joe, shows you that they were trying to make some adjustments. And so we'll see if those end up working for them. But the other part of this, too, is that we are 15, 20 minutes into the second half. Messi has been really quiet in this half. Not a lot of opportunities, nothing really close, having to create his own opportunities.
What's with the refs bringing their own spray paint? That seems a little aggressive there, but it looks like he is going to have his own another free kick here. It looks like Messi as he was tripped
Yellow?
just outside the box. So I think they did. Yeah. So he's going to have another opportunity. This one's a lot closer, by the way, than the last one. And I'm wondering, the guy that took it in the face last time, I wonder where he's at right now. But 1-1 here, 72-minute mark, and Messi is up once again with an opportunity. Don't forget, this is right around the same part of the field they pulled that trick play where everyone was focused on, or was that Portugal? Maybe it was Portugal where Ronaldo Cristiano pretended like he was gonna take the kick, and then all of a sudden the guy came from the right and scored. So I'm wondering if they got anything up their sleeve here, or are they just gonna let him try and bend it in and get it done for his second goal and the lead. Oh, my word. Oh, wow. Heck of a save. This guy for 40 years old, my goodness, heck of a save on a shot there from Messi for a free kick. I think Messi even thought he had it. But that was very, very good. And I think we got a corner kick coming up. Yeah, right? I mean, that was impressive for a 40-year-old goalie. That was very impressive here, but still 1-1. We got to see if they have anything, and oh boy. Yep, still 1-1, but we're going to get another corner. At least a corner kick seemed to be coming up there. Anybody that hopped in on that market. But were you impressed? I thought that was a pretty good. It didn't even look like the goalie was ready. Craig was watching it. He was all the way on the left-hand side of the post, and then Messi wound up and tried kicking it to the right corner, but he made up some ground, and he's screaming, the goalie, saying, I didn't hear no whistle, I didn't hear anything. So he wasn't even ready for that free kick, which is kind of hard to believe.
Great replay video here of the goaltender blocking the shot from Messi. So yeah, credit to him. The other part that we're seeing here, Joe, is that, which you don't see a lot. I mean, Messi's already had 2 free kicks. I think that the coach has basically put the hey, we're not letting this guy beat us. Like, foul him if you have to. That's it. We're not letting it happen anymore. Because that seems to me that they are just blatantly committing fouls on Messi and sending him into the ground. They're not going to allow this guy to beat him just within the game on a free kick or corner kick. Okay, maybe, but they're tired of seeing this guy kick goals through the net. That's got to be what's going on here.
Yeah. Well, and he always seems to, right down in the center of right in that area there is where he always seems to have the ball, and they're doing everything and anything they can to try to collapse on him, and they're ending up, giving him I don't know, you're living dangerous by continuing to give him some free kicks, but I'll tell you this, that goalie not being ready, and then all of a sudden being able to recoup and get a hand on that ball was impressive here. So we're at the hydration break right now, about 75-minute mark. We are knotted up at 1 apiece, and I believe still -1. I'm seeing -120 right now for Argentina. So if you think they got, and it feels like they still have a goal coming, I'd be shocked if this thing goes to extra time here I think they can get it done in a big, big way. So let's hope that Argentina can do it.
You know what we're trending toward, Joe? We're trending toward kicks at the end. We're trending toward kicks at the end with Messi winning it, right? That's what we're trending toward, right? Like the script.
Why is Cape Verde plus 2,000 in some spots here? So they're not thinking Cape Verde has a chance. The market is saying not a chance to win this thing in regulation. And you got 20 minutes. Why can't they win in a regulation at 20-1? I don't get that.
Yes, some of these odds are very strange to me. As you said, I look, to advance right now. I guess that's the key. Argentina is still a massive favorite here, -450 to advance. So that tells you either now, extra time, or in penalty kicks. The odds makers are not going to allow you to take Argentina. They feel that if they get into kicks, then Messi wins it, and that's it. I guess Cape Verde does not have guys to be able to make those kicks. I guess. I don't know.
That's crazy. That's a crazy number for a team that is locked up 1-0. That ties it up. Has been extremely competitive in the second half here, and again, Argentina 9 shots now to 5 for Cape Verde, 5 on target. So we've seen the stat sheet certainly favoring Argentina, but you know what's not? The score, and that's the problem here. So 1-1 at the 77 minute. It came out of the hydration break, and this is the lowest that we have seen Argentina odds-wise for you to be able to get in if you think they can go ahead and win this thing in regulation. So, and 6 minutes of extra time likely coming here, Greg, from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Verde's got a free kick coming. It looks like they'll have an opportunity here. Just unbelievable. They're showing the population of the two countries. Argentina, 46 million. Cape Verde, 500,000. So there's a bit of a...
It's like Jupiter.
And it feels like that's what the ratio is of the fans in the stands in Miami right now for this one. It feels about like that ratio right now. Are there even any Cape Verde fans in the stands?
More people live in Hollywood, where I live, or Jupiter, where you live, than live in Capo Verde.
Right.
That's for sure.
Exactly correct. Exactly correct. Free kick went wide, by the way. So now,
yeah, not close.
As we're not even close there, which is unfortunate. I thought that was messy. It was not. But again, expect some extra time here, but anything can happen at the 78-minute mark right now. I think we should buckle up. This should be a heck of a next 15 minutes in this match.
It's going to happen right now when we go to the break. They're going to score right now when we go to the break. We're going to come back. Someone will have a goal. Point.
Correct. Expect, and maybe even 2 at this rate. That would be also a first here. But yes, plenty more coming your way. Argentina and Cape Verde going to be the upset of the cup. Come back and join us in-game live game day.
Older players in the WNBA going, hey man, we were here when they were paying us nothing. We were here when we had to go overseas to make a paycheck. You're walking in here, you don't realize how easy you have it. So there is some of that too. But yeah, Jordan got beaten up. Magic got beaten up. Bird got beaten up. Kareem got beaten up. You know, Wemby is getting beaten up, by the way.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
This is the 3rd time he's been medically checked. Even the refs coming over. He's like, dude, like come on. Like after every sort of play in front of the net, the kind of goal he's done. He's on the jumping. He's on the turf, like you said, like he's like driving off the top rope. Look at him here again. I give him credit. He's freaking fearless.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Pitching has been really good in their bullpen too. So Chris Getz, their general manager, credit to him. This guy was getting pounded a couple of years ago for decisions and everything like that, but man, it is seemingly working out. The fans, by the way, all of a sudden are pouring in there. Their attendance is on the rise too. So a great sign that the White Sox are in this thing. Now, long term, I don't know. Like, is this a postseason team? Is it a deep postseason team?
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in-game live game day. We almost had a goal while you guys were away, but we're glad you're back. It is still 1-1 right now, but Argentina had a tremendous shot on goal, which was some sort of save. What a great defensive play! Crossed right in front of the goaltender, who was diving to try to make the save, but it was a defender on Cape Verde that was able to pretty much save the day there. Otherwise, that was likely a goal, Craig. But great save, great defense by Cape Verde. But it feels like Argentina at this point is kind of kicking it up a level here, does it not?
Well, they better, because anything can happen in kicks. Now the odds makers are telling us that they have no shot whatsoever if it goes to kicks. That's what they're telling us. They almost had no shot before the game began. The odds makers said it would have been the biggest upset. But the odds are almost exactly the same if they go to kicks. So I guess what they told us is that there's a better shot of a miracle, Joe, with Cabo Verde winning in regulation than there is if they go to penalty kicks at the end. At least that's what the odds are saying to me, that they have no chance there, some chance right now, although not a lot. I guess they have neutralized Argentina's offense. They are on the attack more. Cabo Verde, Joe, has gone completely quiet again here, by the way, on offense.
Yes.
And this goaltender is having the game of his life, obviously. He saved a ton here. A couple of free kicks from Messi and a couple of others as well. But we're about 13, 14 minutes from going into kicks here. Like, we're almost there. It's not far, Joe. Like, we're
no, it's
more
not.
likely than not, it feels like, going in that direction.
Yep. It feels like, oh, wow. Another great opportunity by Argentina, but defense at Cape Verde, give them credit. But it again, this is what we saw in the first half. They feel like they're playing on their heels a little bit, as opposed to, trying to push it here a little bit of Argentina. So we'll see. But substitutions still coming in here for both sides. 84-minute mark, and yeah, this could be the upset of the tournament here. Maybe the upset of all tournaments here if Cape Verde was able to actually pull this off. But if I'm Cape Verde, I need to close this out in regulation, because I don't think anything good happens in extra time or penalty kicks. I'm kind of with you there. But at this point, Argentina got to figure something out. A lot of guys laying down on the ground here, Craig. Have you noticed that too? I'm not sure if they're just exhausted, or I'm not sure if they pulled something or what's going on there. But that feels like we're about to get 10 extra minutes of added time here with everyone laying down, taking cramping? Are we cramping right now?
Yes, absolutely.
I guess, right?
That's what's happening here. Yeah, it's hot. You know how hot it is today, man? My son was playing baseball this morning at 10 o'clock. By 11 o'clock, I was like, I don't know how he's going to get through this morning. It's I had the Pedialyte going and everything, man. This is brutal weather for us here in South Florida, because sometimes when we get this in South Florida, when we get this non-rain but almost rain all day, it's even hotter than just the sun being out. So even in my house, I noticed the temperature is just like super hot here too. So and by the way, that stadium at Hard Rock does not get any breeze whatsoever. It is brutal.
No.
During football season, the sun is just baking on the visitor side. The sun just comes right in on the visitor side, not the Dolphin side, but the visitor side, especially for the 4 p.m. Games, the late starts here. In fact, they should consider themselves lucky that they didn't have to go through this. But your point is very clear here. We're going to get, I would say, at least 5 minutes of extra time. At least 5 minutes of extra.
I agree.
Maybe more. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be more. We'll have plenty of time to get this thing settled here as Cape Verde on the offensive right now. But 10 shots to 6 shots is what we're looking at right now here across the board. The corner kicks were up to 6, and I think it was as low as 7.5 or 8.5 earlier in the match. So we're all of a sudden, again, that's the great thing about corner kicks. They come in bunches, but right now that is still trending towards the under. And boy, oh boy, this could be They're in for a battle right now, and this is what makes games like this, matches like this here, Craig, is what makes the World Cup so much fun here. Because who saw Argentina at this point in the final 10 to 12 minutes of this match battling with a possibility? I mean, let's face it, 1-0, an opportunity for them to be eliminated by a team that nobody gave credit for. That's huge. And that's exactly what we've got going on here right now. Do not forget, Ghana, Colombia coming up right after this. I believe Tom Vecchio and Gabe Morency will be here for you for the start of that one. And again, Colombia, I guess there is no such thing as a big favorite because there was no bigger favorite today than Argentina. And
Absolutely.
They're 1-1 now at the 87 minutes. So anything is possible. Another corner kick happening here. So good news if you did back the over 7.5 or 8.5 in the corner kicks. Messi's taking it. We'll see how that comes up. Wow. A lot of guys throwing their head right at a ball there. And they still have, I think they still have the ball there, Argentina. But can they do anything with it is the question. And I don't know, Greg, at the 88-minute mark here, I'm thinking that draw price was looking better and better when we were at, what, 175 plus 176? Something's telling me that could very well be a possibility here.
Something else that I've noticed, Joe, just look at the stands. We know it's all Argentina fans. This is, soccer generally, we would agree, doesn't have a lot of scoring. They have not sat down the entire match.
No.
And there's no scoring.
Correct.
And there's no scoring.
None.
Like a football game, okay.
None.
Soccer game, these guys are all standing up the whole entire time. Crazy.
Yep. They got to be careful, otherwise the boos could come raining down here. Let's go, Argentina. But again, they are still on the offensive. They have dominated pretty much all the statistical categories except the one that matters, which is the score. So we'll see if that changes as in-game live game day continues here on the grid. All right, welcome back in-game live game day, and we've made it to the 90-minute mark here in a possible upset of the World Cup as defending champ Argentina in a battle with Cape Verde, 1-1 right now. We got 8 minutes added to the clock, and it's been all, shocker, Argentina at this point, continuing to put the focus and the pressure offensively, but another shot and another save by this 40-year-old goalie for Cape Verde. And so far, they have not been able to beat him outside of that Messi shot early on. But here we go. We've got, we're going to be having about 7 minutes here, Greg, of could be nonstop Argentine shots against this goalie. But so far, they haven't been able to mount any offense, Cape Verde, which is a little disheartening here after tying the game up.
Yeah, I think that opportunity right there, I mean, you could just see that the Cape Verde player is just going to give up his body to get to the next round. He doesn't care here.
Correct.
8 minutes of extra time. If they're tied, it goes to, after regulation, it says 2 15-minute extra periods. Is that correct?
Yeah, they'll have extra time, and then if nothing at the end of extra time, they'll go. So basically,
then
30
they go
minutes,
to the kicks.
and then
and
they
then
go
they
to the
go
penalty
kicks.
kick. So they'll give them an opportunity to win this thing.
Yeah. I think an extra time goal is probably something that we'll get. I would guess.
But they still have about 6 minutes to go here in regulation, and once again, Argentina. They got an opportunity here, and it would not shock me if you know who shows up when it matters the most here. And it's just all Argentina. I mean, look at it, 12 shots on goal, 12-6 at this point. And Cape Verde, got to give them credit. Didn't see them being in this one. And now we've got a yellow card and another free shot by guess who? Lionel Messi.
This is it. This is the one.
Yep.
This is the one.
This is it.
If it's not here, we're going to be leaving you in 5 minutes. But you can watch the match if you like. But we'll be off. Off there.
We'll set it up for you. But I'm sure you will figure it out before it is all said and done. Because we do have another one coming up here: Ghana and Colombia. That'll be coming up 9:30 Eastern time after the completion.
Oh,
of this
Messi took one in the head. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
that
Messi, not good. Not good. Yeah, they beat him up. He's looking a little woozy right now, but this is what the truly greats do, right? Opportunity here now with a free kick. Boy, oh boy. 94 minutes though. He better hurry up and kick it before they run out of time. That would be great if you could do that, Messi. He looks like he's sucking wind here, though. Does he not, Craig?
I mean, they all got to be exhausted, Joe. I mean, like, this is just very, very hard conditions to play in. That's true, too. I'd be like 5 minutes in, I'd be laying down. I'd be like, hydration
I need
break.
a banana. Can I get a banana break here? I'm cramping
No thanks.
up.
No thanks.
I need some potassium. But he is lined up. There's 3 guys laying on the floor. Still do not understand that
okay,
defensive
here it is,
posture.
Joe. Call it for us. Call it for us.
No, so he had a good one too. Had an opportunity. Now this is gonna get all. Now the Cape Verde goalie is rolling around in pain. For what reason, I have no idea. This was a very good shot, ricocheted off of one of the Cape Verde players. It just so happened the goalie right place at the right time and made that save there.
Going on.
How many Messi 4 free kicks did he have here? I think in this game, I think he had 4 opportunities, right? That's the 4th one. Kick. And a corner kick, yeah. He'd kind of been all over the place. But listen, this could go down in history as one of the greatest comebacks and upsets in the history of the World Cup. Yes. And I hope you guys enjoy it. Don't forget, it'll be Ghana and Colombia coming up here as Craig and I, we will certainly be back, I think, and see you again. But I'm all for Colombia and getting it done. Although I got to tell you, Craig, Cape Verde, making me think Ghana's even got a shot here. Not great, but it looks like extra time could very well be coming. Or could you get a goal, which we got a free kick happening right now. Boy, oh boy, this is outstanding stuff. Enjoy it. Craig and I will see you again as in-game live game day returner on the grid.
Home to just a single World Cup qualifier and a handful of professional players. And an unwanted record unlikely to ever be